who's the shareholders. Is they can identify the stakeholders by talking to people. Who is the people involved? We must reading what is out there. If necessary, we must look at publicly and formally seeking interest persons in organizations, who is involved to make sure that we have all the stakeholders involvement. 2 years ago, I was teaching a group of students from Bangkok University, Chinese students, regarding innovation training and innovation engineering. And this morning, I got a message from one of them who said to me this morning, do I know somebody who's in the LGBT industry and in the media and film industry? Because they want to do something tourism side in looking at LGBTs, especially in the media and in the media industry. So things like that is we must try to seek. I couldn't answer him, but I said, okay, I can refer him to somebody else again. And that is what we have to try to find. Everybody's involvement must be important, okay? We can ask, who else can we talk to? Who is involved, who should not be? Some people must not be involved, and that we must also look at. We must make sure that we have the real stakeholders that is capable of doing something. Again, RACI, the responsible, accountable people, not the consulting people or the informing people that need to be the major stakeholders. They can be on the secondary stakeholder side. Okay. Some questions that we can ask is, who are the investors? Who provides food and accommodation services? Who provides transport services? As I think I mentioned it last time, that it can be not only the official people, it can be the unofficial people. In Thailand, and I don't know if in Philippines it happened the same, we have 4 kinds of transport inside the city. Okay, and I talk about car transport. Okay, we have the buses. Then we have the minivans. Now the minivans is people hop on, they hang onto the side of the minivan, stop at a certain place. This minivan travel a certain route. People can hop off and hop on and hop off from this, and they pay money to it. Then we have the taxi service that is very expensive. Okay, and actually there's more now, because we now have who says that you can phone people and they can come and pick you up. But then we have the motorbike service as well. People who can go on a motorbike, you can dial them down, you put you on a motorbike and off you go, and it drop you someplace else. These are all people who help us with the transport services. Apart from that, we have what is it, people that you grab. We have Grab and people like this being in place. But these Grab guys actually have a problem, because they're taking the food away from the taxi and the minivan and the motorbike guy who was making his living from doing this. So these guys are actually now in competition. So yes, they belong to an organization, but undercover, under what people can see, they also belong to a certain, I don't want to say gangster group, but a group of people who will protect each other. So if you bring in and you're looking at transport, you must bring in these groups. Not only the official group. The government group is not going to do anything. This, can I call it the mafia group, is a group, the gangster group is the one who actually controls the streets in the area that is there. So that is part and parcel of who we must get into the transport services side. Who run tours, who's involved in tours, who provide other services that rely heavily on tourism. Stupid things like the people who do the laundry service can be a part and parcel of it. So it's very important that we look, or that in the Philippines and part in Thailand, we're looking at the diving areas, the diving groups. There's people that play a role into the tourism side. Your diving people who go there to get your first or second certificate. Okay. What is the regional tourism marketing or planning organizations? Who is involved in that area? What economic development associations or organizations are out there? And when you're looking at something like Thailand, I don't go, when I look at, if I want to go to a new area, and I want to stay in a hotel or I want to stay in a place, I don't even go to a tourism industry anymore. The tourist industry is dead. The tourism company that is sitting there in a corner with his little pamphlets. Ooh, Gilly! Gilly, what is yawning?
What is?
Yawning. Oh, what does that mean?
I'm sleepy.
No, yawning is not always sleepy. It's also definitely not a lack of oxygen. Gerald, they said yawning is part of an ancient language.
Maybe Jelly is hungry.
No, it's more ancient. Yes, hungry, but not hungry for what you think it is. Not for a lychee. In the old days, where people go hoo 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 and sitting there in the cages and caves and still drag the woman by the hair when she had to go. That was the good times before women had a say in life, and we were still had hair and the good, less stressed life in our. Then what happened? A woman would sit at a fire, and she would yawn. Oh, and then a guy will yawn back. Oh. And 9 months later, a little yawn run around. So, who were you yawning at, Gelly? Scary, scary, scary. Yes, be careful of yawning. At Gerald is closer than me. Yes. If she yawned, Gerald, it must be for you. Kelly, okay, my darling, are you okay? I just tease. I just want to break it. I just break a little bit because it's a lot of work. Okay, right. So, tourist industry here in Thailand. When in Thailand, we had many of these tour operators. These people would sit there. You will go into the tour operator. You say, "Oh, I want to go bungee jumping, or I want to go skiing, or I want to go kayaking," and they would set up a package for you. That times are over in Thailand. We don't use it anymore. We use Google. And Google will say, where is kayaking the best? Where is bungee jumping the best? So with that, people create their own packages now. Instead of going to this tour operator, and these tour operators are actually losing ground. Because this tour operator was the one who, in the old days, I would go to a tour operator to say, okay, I want to fly from Chiang Mai to Bangkok. I don't do that anymore. I go into internet. I book my ticket on internet. I pay my money on internet and everything, and I get my e-ticket on internet. When I have to go and book in, I don't even go and stand in the queue to go and get my boarding pass. I take this e-ticket and I go straight to the gate. And I'm happy. It makes things so smooth and interesting and easy to move with less human contact as possible. And I think with COVID-19 came into place, it will even be worse than before. Or worse, it will be more quicker than before. The only problem that we had here was like, and I'm all the time with Justine and the poop and you and the poop. But if you're looking at KFC and McDonald's, KFC and McDonald's at the moment in Thailand was so easy. If you go in now, you don't even order from a girl across the counter anymore. There's a big board, and you will choose what you want to eat on the board, and it'll tell you so much money, and you can either pay by phone or you can put the money in. You don't even need to ask the girl what you want. Or you say, "Mister, can you speak Thai?" No, I cannot speak Thai. Give me a hamburger, please. So those days are over. But now they found out with these big boards where people push their fingers, it is probably the most dirtiest place in the KFC or the McDonald's. They found feces on it because people scratch in their ass and then they use their finger to push there, and that is stuck on the board. So please be careful. Wash your hands or use something before you go into McDonald's to buy something. And that is how COVID will change the way that we are operating. I'm not sure yet. I'm between two fires, even when it comes to things like Bitcoin or Dogecoin or whatever coin is out there, cryptocurrency, where people will not even pay money to get or physical money to do anything. Everything will be computerized. As I say, I use my phone to pay many things. I don't even draw money. Physical money, I think that I don't even know. Last week I can't even remember where. I think maybe last week or the week before I drew money, and I had money in my wallet, but I don't look because everything I do on my phone. So yesterday, me and Aiden went to ride bicycle, and when we came back, I said, "Okay, let's walk to the. We're inside our place. We have a little small shop in our village, and I want to go and buy something to drink. I wanted to drink a Schweppes. So I went into my wallet and I opened it up, and I was, oh, I still have so much money in my wallet. I didn't even know the money was there, because we're not used to cash anymore. We used to use the computer, and we used to use this cell phone, and that will give me the whole time. Everything I buy is online, or even I go to the shop, I pay with my phone. You scan the number, and the thing has been, the money's getting kicked out, or the money's taken from your account without a cost. There's no cost involved, and we are happy. But that is how tourism is also going to change. The way that we look at tourism, and I don't want to ask you something. You all fly. Gerald, you flew before. Kelly, you flew. And Justine, you all flew with an airplane before?
Yeah, I fly from Manila to my province, Western Visayas. I fly with the
Okay. Kelly, you flew before, or you go by Buffalo?
No, I haven't tried in air. I just take a bus for my province to go to my province.
Oh, never flew before. Okay, that's time that you fly. Fly to Thailand. Justine, you flew before?
Yes, when I went to Boracay and in Iloilo.
Yes, I remember you went to Boracay. That's why Boracay is difficult if you don't go to fly there. But if you fly, interesting enough, in the old days, we will buy a plane ticket from the tour agency, or we'll buy it from the company. Okay, then we go to the airport. At the airport, we will go through the first security gates. Then we go where we get our boarding pass, to the counter of what airplane group we are using, and they will say, okay, here's your name, and they will scan everything, look at your passport or your ID, and they'll give you a boarding pass. Then you will go to the gates again. When you get to the gates, you will go to security again. All this is happening, security, at least 3 times security, before you get to wait at the gate where you're going to board the airplane. Before you board the airplane, they scan you again. Who can tell me why do they scan you that time? When I ask interesting questions, Justine disappeared. Do you see, Gerald? Every time I then say, whoop, he goes away. Justine. I'm just teasing you. Okay, so why do they scan you again that time? That is for a financial reason. Because when you buy an airplane ticket, you don't buy a ticket for you as a person. You actually buy the seat space for that time that you're going to fly. And before you fly, if you paid the money, you can pay the money sometimes just before you fly, or sometimes you book an airplane ticket a week or 2 weeks in advance, or maybe a month in advance. When that airport company, or that in this case, the travel agent get the money, or the airport company get the money, it is not their money. because you didn't fly yet. Anything can happen, natural disaster that you cannot fly, they must pay you the money back. So when they receive this money, it's actually you become like their creditor. They owe you this money. We call it in finance, we call it unearned revenue. Money that you get that you didn't do the job for yet, unearned. When they scan you the last time, it's the same with the bus, Gilly. Before you go to the bus, they check you again after you got the bus ticket. Only then, when they press that knob or they scan it in that time, that money that you paid for that plane ticket seat or that bus seat actually too, that money only then goes over to the operator, to the tour, or to not to the tour operator, but to the flight operator, to the plane company, or to the bus company. These things, I think, with COVID is going to change. I think all this will be so automatic. They don't want to scan. They don't want the less human contact they can have, the better. Probably we're just going to you walk past a robot and the robot's going to say beep, 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 beep. But we have to think about it in tourism and hospitality industry. What do we think? How is it going to the tourism going to develop into the areas where we are? And can our area accommodate these changes? It's very important that we think about it when we ask, and that role players must also be involved in our decision making. For the people who publish tourist guides, I think all of this is now online. Agoda, I use Agoda when I'm here, when I look for a hotel. I don't even go to tourist agencies. I just go to a place where they actually look at the hotel, and they will give a hotel a certain stars of like. Not if it's a 5-star or a 3-star or a 2-star or a 1-star, but how many people enjoy staying there. What do the people think? That recommendation of people start to play a major role in our decision where we're going to stay, in what transport we are going to use, in which area we are going to. That people who wrote and put a photo, they becomes a very important part. And it's the same as when you buy things online. When you buy something online, you look at, and I hope you do, to look at, is this company reliable? Can we order from them? Will we get our things on time? And becomes a major part of the electronic industry, how they look at even tourist places and tourist destinations. So what the next one there is, what do guides say about this place? And that's your not only the guides, but what do the people say about this place? Becomes a major role in our decision of deciding what must happen to the tourism industry.